Chelsea at the movies!
Yay!
Old man edition.
So we went and saw The Mule. Finally. It's been out for a while.
I was so disappointed that there wasn't any kind of donkey in this movie.
Okay. I didn't want to see this movie at first. When I saw the trailers for it, I found it a little bit depressing. And I was like, why do I want to go see a really old man traffic drugs? I was like, I don't get what the payoff is. And the trailers didn't show me, like, why Rachel would want to watch this movie.
But I did want to see the movie, and so we have all the same information because we watch previews together. We sit on the couch and watch them together. But the payoff is that Clint Eastwood is such a great storyteller that he only makes movies if there's a great story, and he's going to tell the story excellently.
Now what I can tell you is, oh my gosh, this is such a good movie. I'm so glad that I saw it. What do you say for people?
Skip
go,
it.
Wait, or skip?
Go, wait, or skip. I definitely say go see this movie. I think it's a very fine film. I think it captures a lot of very true and real things. It's just a beautiful piece of art. Eastwood, I think he's 88 years old. He's outstanding in the movie. It was a really interesting story that I hadn't heard before, and I love the movie. I thought it was great.
Say go see the movie because I think it was such a good movie, and I always like to support movies that are really, really good. And I really can't just like tell you enough. Like, it was such a good movie. Spoilers.
Spoilers. This is a movie that's based on a New York Times
article?
Well, I mean, the trailer spoils it. Basically, this old man becomes a...
Well, yeah, but I mean, the point of the spoiler section is that we're going to talk freely, and so we might say things that happen in the movie that you're like, man, I didn't want to know that yet. So, before spoilers, we don't talk freely. We kind of keep it under wraps. But
now we're going to tell you that at the end of the movie, he goes to prison, which I thought he would from the trailer.
Anyway, this was, Clint Eastwood did an amazing job, and right off the bat, one of the things that I loved about the entire movie was how real it was. So Clint Eastwood played an old man, but he played it you could meet this man anywhere in your life. And the interactions that he had with different people, they weren't like overdone. And another way that they did this in the film was with the DEA agents. I mean, they said things. He talked to his boss, and his boss is like, we need you to get some bust. And he's like, okay, and then walks down the hall. And that's all that happened in the scene. Like, they had really real scenes, and at the end of the movie, like you said, he does end up going to prison. It was really moving and sad.
Yeah.
This isn't the kind of bust you want to get as a DEA agent, right? You just sent a 90-year-old man to prison after he makes, like, amends with his family. So it was real in that in the courtroom scene at the end, the trial's over, and then the Bradley Cooper plays the agent, and his boss tells him, good job, and he turns and says, thank you, and that's it. And you know that there were other feelings going on, but that's what I mean by real, because that's what would happen in real life. I mean, in a movie, you might have, like, an agent, like, go, like, be really upset and maybe say some words or go to the family or something, but in real life, you're like, well, yeah, this was tough, but it was my job, and you say thank you and you move on. So all throughout it, and you talked about a scene where his ex-wife dies, or she's dying, and you had experienced being with a loved one when they had died, and you said how real that scene was.
The realism in the movie was outstanding. Even the way the film shows dysfunction, we talked a little bit. So maybe you go see this movie and you're like, well, I would never be this person. I would never traffic drugs. But if you watch the movie, as I was watching the movie, I'd be like, yeah, I can see how that happens because you kind of, you're thinking about other things. It's not like...
Well, it's also, you say, this main character, right? This guy, he's had an entire lifetime, right? He's had 90 years of these habits of putting money and other people first. Not God, not his family. 90 years of that. Well, yeah, when you get to the end and your whole life falls apart, your business and your house is foreclosed on, then some guy comes up to you and is like, hey, you'll make a bunch of money. Doesn't really tell you what it's for, and just like, you'll just have to drive. This is a guy who for 90 years has taught himself that money is really important. And I can pay for my granddaughter's wedding, and she'll like me again. So, like, you know, 90 years of telling yourself that, then yeah, like, I mean, think any of us could be in that position where we say yes to that.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Like he had a need, and this fit it, and the driving.
And it
He didn't
snowballed, you
really
know?
know. I mean, he knew, but he didn't really. When he started doing it, he didn't ask any questions because, hey, drive this thing here, and we'll pay you a lot of money. Okay, I'll do that. I mean, that's. So I thought that the realism of how people get involved with any kind of thing like that was true, and then also, like you said, the scene where I'm guessing she had cancer.
It seemed like it, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of was when my mama had cancer and she's got the oxygen thing in her nose and just how she even coughed. That was an outstanding performance, I thought. So yeah, really great movie. I love most of Clint Eastwood's movies that he's made, especially over recent years, and I think this is not an exception to that.
Good
Huge
stuff.
character arc for a guy who wasn't always putting first things first, right?
Regarding death, I thought this movie also portrayed the benefit of being with a loved one as they die, like giving them that dignity. The way the family made amends and forgave each other, it was like all came out of the death of his ex-wife.
Yeah, and his
if
choice to respond in a positive way to that.
Right. Yeah. Because he had never like chosen his family over anything. And here, like he honestly has like where most people would not say no or say yes to going back to being with a loved one because the cartel is like on him and he it's his biggest load ever. And he just goes back and does it. But like all of the fruit that came of sitting with his wife while she was dying, how it helped him to make amends with his wife, and that she was able to die without like anger and resentment. It appeared like, but it also like he was able to make amends with his daughter because of how he responded to her mother and his granddaughter, and it was really really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you like movies or just like to see when Rachel's going to cry, like, comment, and subscribe. We love you and we thank you for watching the show. What is it called? Rachelsea at the movies. We're the best. We're at the movies. Not right now.
Oh, did we want to talk about all the butts?
No. It's just no. No, Rachel.
That was the only part of the movie I doubt the realism on.
About the butts?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't think they would be
like have a lot of women at the drug cartel house? I do think that. Maybe the way the butts looked.
They wouldn't be model butts.
Yeah, not all. They didn't have all the women there be models, but it was kind of like
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
Maybe a drug cartel has enough money to pay
I didn't
for
think
that.
it was unrealistic in the scene. I thought that the choice it reminded me of the difference between Wonder Woman and Justice League, in that I had a lot of shots start and around and then end at butt level, and I was like, that's weird. Like that seems out of place to me for this type of movie.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's what I mean.
So long, and maybe like one butt, but like it was just like butts, butt, and I thought that it just like, seemed out of place. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was like, it's been on the butt a little too long, for it not to be weird.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, this is kind of getting weird. And then it was like more butts when I started feeling that way. When I started feeling that way, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So anyway.